something to consider when it comes to land development. You know how we know when you buy a car, whether it's new or used, the value decreases. Of course, land is an appreciating asset.
Yes.
So when they come at us and our local peoples all over the country, in the world, when they make you this substantial offer, of course, but it's really worth pennies, because when you sign that agreement, they have already increased.
Exactly.
Just like the car depreciates, they have already increased. They appreciate it because they got an idea to develop it, to allow it to generate money and all these things. And of course, we can get into a whole other topic on that. But that would seem to be leaving us behind. And to me, another thought, with so many of us economically challenged, let's be honest, especially with the rate of increase of the cost of living, and we get those offers, it's very hard to say no. It's very hard to say no.
It is, but it's sad because in that transaction, they're not educating people.
True.
And so because we are ignorant to an extent,
yes,
like you just said, that money, we see that money like, oh, that's a lot.
Oh, it's a lot of money.
But it's not. And it's like, I hope I can say this, they're raping us because it's like you just, we'll give you this, knowing good and well as soon as they close that door, they just laughing. It's like taking candy from a baby. Personally, I've seen what I've seen in that economic, taking land when we were in high school. I didn't see Old Village as much because I've been going the recent years. But in high school, I saw it starting there in 2 Mile and 4 Mile.
Yeah.
The Matthews Ferry Road area. We don't see the basket stands,
right.
Sweetgrass basket stands like we used to. They started, pushing them back, and they started with the widening of that, and to look to see what it is now. We got, Town Center, and
right.
just all of that has built up, and coming back from being out of town, and I'm like trying to look for my old high school. It's like, how do I get there? I remember going up 17 and just being able to turn left at the light right there in Olive Branch. It's like, no, you can't do that anymore. And then to go to Wando now, I feel like a tourist because it's like, well, where is it? I have to look for the sign to find Wando, and it's just like. And even with Wando, now they want to zone it, I guess, or because they have Lucy Beckham now,
where Wando used to be.
Exactly, and I'm just like, wait a minute. So, from what I heard, they wanted to not allow the kids from Snowden and I guess Green Hill area to go to Lucy Beckham. They wanted them to go all the way up the road to Wando.
Which doesn't make a bit of sense.
It doesn't make a bit of sense. And I was like, but when it was Wando, it was good enough for everybody to go. But now that it's Lucy Beckham, or you want to make it this stipulation or whatever for whoever you want to go.
I got a little bit of history on that. Not on that, but you remember when, us coming to Moultrie, we were close to the land, right? But we ended up going to Moultrie because that's the way they had us zoned.
Yep.
And we didn't understand, which was cool, man. We could get Krispy Kreme donuts. Land didn't have that, did it? But what they did, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right on this because I did a little research. Because I always wondered why that was. And like the kids from 2 Mile would have to go, Hickory Shadow, 2 Mile, they would have to go to the land.
Right.
But what they trying to do is make the racial demographic as even as they can, because Mount Pleasant, when I first moved here, I went to Jenny Moore, so that's when a lot of the kids I reconnected with from Wando. I had started school with them, and that was before I started going to Whiteside's named James B. Edwards. But Snowden was still in where the all-black schools were. Y'all had already integrated the academy and all that stuff. And so Mount Pleasant, it took them 30 years to really, desegregate it all. But they still wanted to try to keep the racial diversification, you know, as much as possible. That's why a lot of those lines didn't make any sense. And still, you just said that now. I said, wow, I found that out like 15 years ago. That's why Snowden, and I can't remember who all had to go to Moultrie, which was pretty much across town.
Right.
And we could have went straight up Long Point Road. We've been right there at Lang. And of course, the older people in our neighborhood went to Lang when Moultrie was the high school.
Right.
Lang, you know what I'm saying? And so people from Mount Pleasant had to travel from the village to Lang.
Yep.
And so this their way of trying to make it right,
Right.
but still, it didn't make it. It didn't make it right.
Check this out. I want to read something to you. I'm going to let you comment first, Jabal, and then Keisha, I want you have something to put on this. The effect sociology to gentrification in a place. It said members of middle class and upper classes enter, renovate a city areas that have been historically less affluent, while the poor urban underclass are forced by resulting price pressures to leave those neighborhoods for increasingly decaying portions of the city. So from a social standpoint, what do you think about that?
That's like pushing everybody from Charleston into North Charleston, you know? Or now, really, too. A lot of people that, you know, I first remember when I really first started school in Charleston, they ain't in Charleston no more, you know, and we can look at Charleston now. And also going through Hurricane Hugo, when I was out finally in high school, there was a really big push of developers coming in to clean up, you know, this area. And so we got a big jolt of it. And a lot of people that was displaced because of the natural disaster, they were promised to get back to where they were, and they couldn't afford it. They just couldn't afford it. I know there's still lawsuits, well, I don't know about now, but there were lawsuits carrying on behind being promised to be able to come back to affordable living, even here in Old Mount Pleasant, that's something. But yeah, I can even say like the other areas, like the projects in, what's that, Marion Drive downtown. It's gone now. They got condominiums up there now. I knew a lot of people from Charleston, since we, you know, from Charleston, in that area that I reconnected with, you know, as an adult, you know, gone. A lot of the family wealth, like a lot of the homes of people I knew on the west side of Charleston, you know, they lost it. You know, now you got off-campus college dorms and living, you know, places for the College of Charleston, Citadel, and MUSC. You know, developers came in and they saw a lot of opportunities, and the biggest one in that realm was the people who couldn't hold on to the family property, the family homes, split level homes, man. You know, matter of fact,